How many of you are financially planning for your future but you are not investing in traveling? How many of you feel that traveling is an expense but not an investment for your memory? Hi, this is Anirudh Bellare here. Welcome to the 21st video of Your Best Financial Life. Today's video is in a complete different aspect whereby you will be learning how important it is for you to take trips at least once in a year. Why? Because you can do your financial planning, you can do everything else, but investing in those memories with friends and family makes life very interesting. And also you will also be learning how you can plan financially for these trips so that it will be easier for you when you need to have that ideal budget when you are planning and actually going for the trip which you want. Let's move on to the first point. See, understand, when you travel, you come out of your comfort zone. Now, what is this travel and you come out of your comfort zone? How many of you are doing the same routine again and again every day? And at the end of the month, you earn that salary. You keep saving it, you keep investing it. And I do talk about investments. But do you know what? Apart from your financial planning and your investments, there is another investment which becomes absolutely crucial, which is taking your travel. Now, how do you do this travel? See, it's pretty obvious. If you have friends in your life who you are closely connected with, there is a term, friends become family, or friends are also brothers after a time. Why does this become important? See, in life, what is that one thing which you enjoy doing? Personally, if you ask me, it is that point of time when you sit and plan along with your friends to which state or country you can go to spend your time together. And do you know why travel is the most important investment? Because while you are traveling, you understand the other person's mentality, the way he works, the way he talks, the way the planning is done. You understand so many things because all of you need to stay in one particular place, use a vehicle, use food. There are so many other expenses and you learn a lot. Traveling to new places or countries, it opens up the brain. Why? Because you are outside your comfort zone. When you are in your comfort zone, you don't grow. But when you get out of your comfort zone by traveling, you come to that growth zone whereby you understand how this comfort zone, you leave it and your brain opens. And this is not nonsense which I'm talking. I have actually experienced it. I used to stay at home every time. There was a time when my parents and my friends were like, let's go out for a trip. And I was like, okay, it's something difficult and different. I've never experienced it. Let me try. That was the time when something came in my head, the thought that do you know what, Anirudh? Traveling is also an important investment apart side your investments. Because when you start getting older and older, your body's capacity to work will slowly start deteriorating. And for you to enjoy life at least once a year by taking that trip or whatever, it becomes very crucial. Now see, this is a perspective of mine because I have done all of this, but for you it could be different. Your financial planning and budget could be different for the aspect of what I am talking. So it is completely your sole decision to decide. Let's move on to the second point whereby I will be explaining more deeper why taking this traveling trip is important and planning your finances as well. Let's move on to the second point. Your second point is, see, if you are in your early 20s, or your teenage age or whatever age, you will understand this. Now, what is the meaning of this? Exams come and go, but your memories always stay. See, during your school or college life, how many of you would have taken trips with your friends? If you had good ones, I mean your friends. If not, your solo trip or whatever. Do you know what? Your exams come and go. I know a lot of you might know this concept. But when you create those memories with your friends, you plan one thing for your trip to get executed, and in the moment there are a lot of changes which happen. You keep a plan A, you keep a plan B, you keep your budget size as C, but things, they turn out continuously. Now, why am I explaining this concept again and again? See, understand, when it comes to your finances, especially when you're taking those trips, you can calculate a particular amount of how much the budget is going to be. And secondly, you may never know how much money could exceed your budget. And together as a team, when you plan and when you actually execute this trip and make memories, you know what? It will be extremely useful for your memory. Why? Because once you go and come back home from a trip, you feel that your money has gone, but your memories have increased to a large extent. That is why it is very common for people to stay broke after a trip, including myself. That I keep talking about this broke, investments and all that. But you invest in yourself. The most important investment, one of the most, is traveling. Let's move on to the third important point. Have you understood the meaning of this word role clarity? It's not about have you. Now, what is this role clarity in trips? See, there are a lot of people who have their own expertise in whatever it is. When it comes to taking trips with your friends, the first one, your financial budget. How do you plan all of those? The second one, the person who's good in communication. The third one, finding the right place to stay. Fourth, choosing the appropriate vehicle for how much duration. See, while planning your trip, again, the most important thing is your questions. Why? Because it is these questions which will give you an ideology or framework on how do you need to book, from where do you need to book, and why are you booking it in the first place. Now see, what are the most important things when it comes to your finances when you're doing your trip? The first and most important thing, it is gonna be your stay, which is obvious. Your staying is going to be one of your biggest expenses alongside your travel, whether it's your flight, train, or whatever. Then food, miscellaneous. Oh, pardon me if the spelling of miscellaneous is incorrect, but understand, your maximum expenses, if you see, it goes in flight, stay, travel, and food. And now for investing, so that you can make that money to go for these trips, it becomes very important. And that is why in my previous video I have created how you understand your wealth psychology and your behavior. You can use it for taking these ideal trips, which will be very memorable for your future. And understand, if you take these trips, so-called trips with your friends, you do understand the importance of how it is when you leave your home. When you go out with friends, it's a different feeling compared to when you go out with your family. Because when you go out with your family, it is but natural that either your mom or your dad will be the sole decision maker. But when it comes to traveling with your friends, one of you have to take the responsibility of actually seeing which is the best place to stay, where do you want to visit, what do you want to do. You basically take the ideology of all the people in the group and you execute it accordingly. And do you know what? Taking these decisions while traveling, it opens up the brain. It creates a lot of questions as well, which becomes very important when it comes to decision making and problem solving, which are the two most important criterias for a human life. Because throughout your life, you are either going to take decisions or you're going to solve a problem. When you work in a company, you solve a problem. That's why you get paid for it. When you are going to buy a house, car, or whatever decision you take, whether it's your career, whether it's your marriage, or whatever important decision, that's why your decision making, and your problem solving, two most important things which you can use it appropriately for your travel. Let's move on to the next point. See, have you all felt this? When you go on a trip, your time starts to go slowly. That is your psychological feeling. Now, why is time considered one of the most important things which you have in your life? Do you know what the three important things which you always will be having? Not necessarily, but with time it changes. First is your time, second is your money, third is your energy. When you are young, understand, when you are in your 20s, you will be having time and you will be having energy, but you will be working for your money. In 30s, what happens? In 30s, you will be having energy, you will be having money, but you won't be having time. In your 50s and plus, what will you be having? And say you have retired by then, you will be having money, you will be having time, but you won't be having energy. Now look at this. When it's your 50s or 60s, you won't be having energy. When it is 30s, you won't be having time. And when it is 20s, you won't be having money. Now, how do you change this ideology to make your best financial life so that you can take the trips which you always wanted to? So understand, I know this is going to be difficult, but if you could at least take a 3-4 days holiday, at least in 1 year, if you can do one memorable trip from the age of 20 or whatever age, say baseline is 20, because you have completed your adolescence and you're going to reach that 21 plus age, you start creating memories for your life. Just imagine you take one trip every year for the next 40 years of your life, starting from 20. You will have memories from the age of 20 to 60. And these memories will always keep refreshing your brain whenever that notification comes from Google Photos saying, this day 5 years ago, so happy you were with your friends. That's how time changes. And that is how, when you are on a trip with your friends, time goes slowly, because you understand life is not only about working, whether it's working for a company or doing your own business. It becomes equally important to have that me time along with your own self or along with your friends and with your families. That's why it becomes extremely crucial. Now, when it comes to your financial planning for your trip, as I have told you, see, your flight is going to be the most important money remover. Not money remover. You're going to spend your maximum, one of the maximum on your travel, which is your flight. Then your food, another most important thing, because you will be obviously having to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then how will you travel in that particular state or country? Your vehicle, where are you going to stay? And always, I have learned this dialogue from this movie, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, which is very, very precious. जितना भी ट्राई कर लो बनी, लाइफ में कुछ ना कुछ तो छूटेगा ही. What does this line mean? This line means how much ever you try Bunny is the character name. In life, something will be left out. Where you are, take the happiness of that particular place. Whether you are in this part of India or that part of France or that part of Europe or wherever, just enjoy that moment. Your money will come and go. Your money will come and go, but your memories once made will always stay with you because it's a precious part with your heart. And that is why ideal financial planning, also with a little bit of miscellaneous cushion, will help you to take those trips which you always wanted to in your life. See, before closing this video, before ending this, I would like to tell the sole ideology of making this video, which is completely different from my niche of creating videos on finance, is that, see, investing, whether it is your mutual fund, stock market, equity, debt market, or whatever, is one important aspect of life. Your second important aspect of life is making memories with your dear ones. And third important is investing in yourself, because as I mentioned earlier, your brain and your body is the most important asset you have. And the amount of money which you can make by developing yourself is more than that of the amount you can earn from any stock market or anywhere. That's why it becomes extremely crucial. And when it comes to taking trips, it is really a blissful joy. See, all of these, what I'm talking about, I have experienced it in my life. And I really have enjoyed a lot of this. And I want the exact same thing for you. Now see, it is completely your choice whether you want to take these 4 points with you or you don't want to use anything. But understand, when you go out your comfort zone, it is really a mind changer, because the next time when you will be having to do a tough thing, you will get that confidence which was always lacking with you because you were staying at home. That's why taking these trips is like a very important fuel for your body. Like how you take bath every day, eat food 3 times a day, at least once in 365 days, for whatever amount of time, whether it is 5 days, 6 days, planning and actually executing that trip becomes very important. Now for me to talk about all this, it literally feels nothing. But when you actually start planning for that trip of 2027 or 2026 December, you will understand how difficult it is to bring all your friends circle and your family together at that particular time, because everybody is everybody is busy in their life. But if it is possible for you to bring all your friends on one side, family on the other side, and whatever, and you actually take that trip, you will make one of the best memory for your life. This was the sole purpose of me making this video. If you really like this video on how you can use your financial planning and why taking those trips is very important in at least once in 365 days, or more than once, so even better, but once, it is really a very big thing after you cross the age of 2021, because all your friends will be in different states, and if they are in the same state, they will have their own office tension and lot of things. If you really like this video, you can share it with a lot of friends, especially with those who are wanting to take the trips but they are hesitating because of the lack of money or because they feel that their parents are not allowing them. If this really made a difference for you, you can do subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for giving your time till the end. It gives me immense pleasure to make such videos for you. Thank you once again.